Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Precious Malachi. I trust that you guys are well. On this channel we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about self-development, and quite frankly anything that's gonna help us become a better version, the best version of ourselves. So today I just want to talk about the business do's and the business don'ts, the do's and don'ts of business. And before I jump into the topic, I would like to say to all the entrepreneurs that, guys, there is no perfect business. We just learn how to do better every day. So I just want to say, stop beating yourself up so much. I'm saying this because I know how hard we can be on ourselves when things are not going well. And when things are going well, we don't really take credit, So I just want to say, guys, there is no perfect business. Even the big corporates still have their mistakes, but we just learn how to do better every day. With that said, I want to jump straight into the business. Should I start with the do's or the don'ts? Let's start with the do's. Let's start with the do's. So the first thing, okay, I'm not gonna say number one, number two, number three. These are in no particular order. But the first thing that you need to do as an entrepreneur or as a business, you need to have goals. You need to set goals for yourself. And it's so important for you to write these goals down, and it's so important for you to write these goals down and actually see them every day. So I recommend you writing the goals down and just seeing them, putting them against the wall or somewhere where you can see where you want to go. So the goal can be for a month, it can be for 2 months, it can be for 3 months, it can be for 3 years, it can be for 5 years, but you need to be working towards something. You don't just work for the sake of working. You need to be working towards something. Setting goals is so important, guys. You need to be working towards something. Write it down, put it up somewhere where you can see it. And sometimes, I don't know for you, but for me, when I write down my goals and when I see them every day, on days that I don't really feel like doing it, my goals keep me going. My goals are a reminder of what I want. So when you are not working towards something, you somehow forget where you're going. You just somehow forget. You just you get lost, especially when things are not going well. So you just get lost into the negativity, into I'm a failure and whatever. But when you put your goals up somewhere, it's so easy for you to get back into track, to get your motivation back. So it's so important for you to write down your goals. What are your monthly goals? What are your quarterly goals? What are your yearly goals? What are your goals on 5 years? Where do you want to see your business? Another thing that you need to do, you need to have a strong team. Building a strong team is not kids play. Like it's not easy building a strong team. It takes time, it takes a lot of firing, it takes a lot of tension sometimes, but you need to build a strong team. You need people who are just self-motivated to be working for you. You need people who know what they want. What they want in life. It's so important. And I think I made a video about hiring the right people in your business, because it's so important to build a strong team. You need people who understand. You need people who understand where you're going. You need people who understand where they are going. You just need to build people who are strong characters, people who've got a strong why. Like, it's so important to have the right people in your team, because it's said that teamwork makes the dream work. It's so difficult and so how can I put it? It's so draining to be working with someone who is slacking. It's so difficult. You need to be focusing on the correct things. You can't be focusing on people who are not doing their job. So it's so important. Another do that you need to implement in business is you need to delegate. I also made a video about the art of delegation. It's so important to delegate, guys. You need to delegate the things that need to be delegated, and you need to be focusing on the things that you need to be focusing on. I'm not gonna go deep into it because I made a video. Please search it and do watch that video. But it's so important for you to delegate all the things that you can delegate and focus on all the things that other people can't do. Exceptional service. Exception. You just need to have a great service, guys. People and businesses with great service are always gonna get the bigger pie of of the pie, the bigger piece of the pie. No matter how high no matter how bad the competition is, no matter how tough the competition is, if you are providing a great service, you are going to be getting a bigger bigger piece of the pie. So it's important for you to really work on your service. It's so important for your customers to be happy with your service. And with that said, another do is that you need to ask for feedback from your customers. You need to know what your customers think about your service, what your customers think about your product, so that you can review. You need to review your service delivery, you need to review your products. You just need to make sure that your customers are happy with all the things that you do. With that said, when we are talking about review, you need to review your prices on a continuous basis, guys. Otherwise you're gonna risk making a loss. We are in business to make a profit. So reviewing your prices is so important. The price of petrol has gone up. It's always going up. The price of raw material is constantly going up. So you need to review your prices constantly. If that means increasing your prices on a monthly basis, you need to increase your prices, because the profit is so important. It's so important to make income, but it's even importanter to make a profit, guys. So you need to review your prices. You need to stay in the game. So I'm just going to leave it there. You need to review your prices on a regular basis so that you continuously make a profit. Another thing, guys, that is so important, another do of business is just you need to have a great communication with your customers. Great communication is so important. I know sometimes it's so difficult, especially when you need to communicate bad news. When you've agreed that you're going to be delivering on Friday and then unfortunately you won't be able to deliver, so you need to you need to review, or you need to come up with it's just so difficult to be the bearer of bad news. But communication is so important. It is so important to communicate with your customers, because sometimes you just lose customers because of your poor communication. It's so bad when you're not communicating, guys. It's so bad. And sometimes communication can save you a lot of customers. It can save you a lot of money. It can save you a lot of explanation. It can just save you from a lot of things. So it's so important to communicate with your customers, no matter how bad no matter how bad it is. Just communicate with your customers. Don't wait for your customers to call you. You need to be constantly proactive. You need to be constantly calling your customers to update them about what's happening with their orders. I know this is difficult, but good communication is the plug. You need to have good communication skills. So with that said, guys, let's jump into the don'ts, the do's, the don'ts. The don'ts of business, guys. Do not compete for price. I know that pricing is tricky. I know that we need to be pricing our products on the market value, but you can't compete for price. You can't compete for price because you don't know where your competitor is getting their raw material. You don't know where they're getting their raw material. You don't know, maybe their fathers or their uncles own the raw material. They're getting good deals. So you just need to be constantly making a profit. So never compete for price. Yes, your prices need to be market related, but you must never compete for price. If anything, rather compete for customer service. Never compete for price. So you must do not compete for price. Another thing, it's so important to understand your competition. I'm not saying study and analyze your competition, but you just need to have an idea of how much your competition is pricing. And I'm not saying you need to price according to them. You just need to understand how much they're pricing, and don't compete for price, but understand how they're pricing. Just understand their pricing. If they're lower than you, it's fine. And if you can go lower, it's okay, but you must never compete for price. Understand your competition, but don't compete for price. Another don't ignore customer reviews. never ignore the reviews that you get from customers. If customers say, yo, you know what, I'm happy with this pen, but you are supposed to make it longer, and the customer is not the first person to say that, maybe you need to look into making the pen longer. If another customer says, yo, you guys don't work on Saturdays, maybe you should consider working on Saturdays. Maybe consider working on Saturdays. Maybe it would work for you, especially if that person is not the only person who's saying, is constantly giving you feedback. That's why it's so important for you to constantly ask your customers, what do you think about my product? What do you think about my service? What do you think about my business? It's so important because you're in business to serve your customers, so it's so important for you to understand what they want. Another don't in business is ignoring financial management. Yes, we are making income. Yes, we are making profit. But what's the point if you're going to be making profit, but you're going to be mishandling your money? You need to be smart with your money. You need to be strategic with your money. You need to be able to cover the cost that you're able to cover. I know sometimes it's tricky, especially when you're starting and you don't have something to fall back on. You don't have capital. But financial management is so important in business. You need to be able to finance your business correctly. Another thing, failing to delegate, guys. I already said a lot about delegating. What's the point of hiring people and they don't actually work? What's the point of hiring people and that they don't actually do what they're supposed to be doing? What's the point of hiring people and they don't take off the load off your shoulders? You must never fail to delegate. Delegate as much as possible. And as I said, I did make a video about the art of delegation. Please do check that out. The last thing that I'm going to say, guys, about the don'ts of business, you must never neglect a work-life balance. I still find it difficult for me, it's still difficult for me to find the balance, but you need to find the balance. You must never throw yourself into work so much so that you don't have a personal life. You need to have a personal life as much as you have a business life. It's so important for you to be sane, so if you are gonna be allowing your life to revolve so much around business, you are gonna lose yourself, guys. Remember, this money thing, we're gonna leave it one day when we go on to our next life. So you must never focus so much on the money. We must never put money so much in front of us so that we forget how to live. With that said, guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Maybe I forgot something. You can add it in my comment section. And remember, guys, there is no perfect business. Stop beating yourself so much. In business, we learn every day. In business, we learn how to do better every day. With that said, guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.